Chrono Odyssey is not the MMO that you thought it was. Or at least it's not the MMO that I thought it was going to be. We've got some huge information revealed today. Specifically, I think the juicy information is around PvP, but there's still some good gameplay footage that we've not seen before, and it's very, very, very exciting. So let's jump in. Now, all of this footage is coming from the IGN video that they've done. They've done like a 17-minute gameplay preview, and I will be leaving a link to the video in the description. It's well worth checking out because I'm not going to play everything that they have. So go ahead and check it out yourself and see if you can find any information. Now, I would say that the narration on this video, I'm pretty sure this is like an ad, right? And I think the narration is probably AI generated, although I actually can't tell. But the reason I think that's probably the case, before you are wondering, is because obviously Chrono Studios is Korean and they want the video to be in English, and that means they either have to like hire an English voice actor that they don't know, or if they want to get a video out like this, they just probably use AI. It could be a real person, it sort of just doesn't sound like it to me at this point. And the script is very kind of like PR-esque, which is fine. It's obviously an advertisement for the game, but I just want you to keep that in mind. I will have a huge video for Chrono Odyssey tomorrow. That's something you do want to check in though, you don't want to miss. Now, let's just skip to the juicy bits. Let's talk about the PvP because it's literally not what I expected. First and foremost, they're going to have a PvP zone, which I think pretty much is what we expected, but they actually show us some footage of it. It looks like a free-for-all. I don't think you can team up in this part of the map or anything like that. It looks like it's just you versus everybody. And it's talking about how you can decide who's friend and foe. Yeah, if you're interested in PvP and you like that kind of world PvP, then that's going to be the place for you. I think that alone might get some PvPers excited. Obviously, you might not be if you want like mass PvP, you know, like when it's like 100v100 or something like that. Chrono Odyssey is not going to offer that as far as we can tell. There'll be little like safe zones in here, but pretty much it sounds like you can be killed anywhere. Obviously, this is opt-in. They said in the interview that you basically don't have to do this, but there will be rewards for it. But the actual really juicy bit is the Eden Zone, because I did not realize what that was. When they spoke about it, they basically showed like a 3v3 with a boss in the middle. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. It's sort of similar to an arena. It won't be that interesting in general, but it's okay. Well, actually, what it kind of is an extraction mode. Think like Tarkov and those kind of games, except built into an MMO. Now, what's interesting, I believe New World might be adding something like this at the end of the year, but here they talk about how, you know, you can go in as either solo or 3 of you. I don't know if you can do duels, it's not very well explained, but it's going to be like a challenging mode where you've got to defeat powerful bosses and then extract the valuable loot before time runs out. Now, how the PvP works in that, is it like a PvP zone? Do people get put into your sort of like instance? You know, the jury's out on that one. We don't actually have any idea right now, but that sounds crazy interesting gameplay to me. It's basically going to be entering like a high risk, high reward area, either with yourself or as a team. And if you don't extract everything before the timer runs out, you lose everything. I've never really played extraction games, but I would try this mode. For me, I would still like arena to be like 3v3 arena or battlegrounds or something like that. But having this extraction PvP mode in an MMO, yeah, I mean, I can live with that. It sounds very interesting. It's not the pure thoroughbred PvP that I would personally like, but I'm not against it, right? I would definitely play it, especially as part of an MMO. They then go through to talk about some of the other content, some of which you already know about, some you already seen, I guess, but there's some really interesting bits in here as well. So in the order that they do it, because it's just easier when I'm making notes and stuff like that, first they show dungeons, obviously classic instanced areas where there's going to be teamwork, puzzle solving, that kind of stuff. You're going to have world quests, everybody kind of knows about that. Then they spoke about time portals. Now, time portals got me a little bit interested here, because whilst these time portals are cool looking, I guess the important bit is that these are the things that are going to change time. It's this that expands the map, because when you go through them, it's effectively the same area of the map except at a different time. So it'll look similar, but it'll actually be different. There will be world bosses as well as normal quests, obviously. They also show off the Void Nexus. That kind of looks like a wave mode. Not really sure of the details on that one. They also talk about labyrinths. Now, these are going to have puzzles and a bit of combat to test your skills, and it looks like it's probably going to be done solo player. And an interesting one is something that they refer to as trials. Now, these, they actually say roguelike. Now, a roguelike to me would be ever-changing and sort of like endless content, but it's like pieces together that can continue forever and ever. That would be really, really interesting if each run is actually genuinely very different. I mean, that could be very, very, very good content and an interesting loop in an MMO. There's also these bounty missions that we'd sort of seen before. There looks like there's this bounty board where you're gonna, I don't know, get targeted to kill somebody and then you're gonna kill them and get something in return. There's also dynamic events in the world, so like sort of like dynamic quests. Of course, the game's gonna have live skilling. There's nothing really interesting there apart from the fact it actually shows you some footage. I guess what's interesting about this bit is that they're actually showing you some of this gameplay and showing you some of the footage. It's not necessarily the fact that the content is interesting, it's the fact that the footage itself is interesting, which again, I'm going to recommend you actually go and watch the original video because it's like 17 minutes. This video will not be that long. They do show off some of the like enhancing systems and stuff like that, and the gathering and crafting. And yeah, I mean, we'd seen some screenshots before. All looks very interesting. We'll have to wait and see how that actually plays out in the game. They talk about the Chrono Tech, which sounds like it's going to be various different abilities that you can pick from and utilize in the battlefield, right? And the Chrono Gates, which look like they're going to have like fast-paced boss encounters that are going to test you, really like test you, your timing, your precision. It does look like there's going to be 4 abilities per weapon, and obviously you can have 2 weapons at any time. Then there looks like there's 4 slots for consumables, and then 4 extra slots, which I don't think we know what they are at this moment. I mean, overall, I think this looks fantastic. Yeah, very excited to see it on the 20th. I just want to remind you though, I have a massive video coming tomorrow. Definitely one that you want to check out. For now though, let me know your thoughts. It looks like the game's real. It looks like the gameplay is existing. Let's see what you think about these end game loops. They sound really good on paper. How they play in practice, well, obviously the jury's going to be out on that one until we actually get it in our hands and we play it and we experience it. But for now, really, really juicy. Let me know your thoughts. Have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.